The pump on my 20-year-old pressure washer is shot, and so we're going to replace it with a new one. I should have taken a video of this frame before I painted it, but it was pretty rusty, and I took everything off of there. There's the old pump, and that's how it was connected to the shaft right there. This thing had a key on it, and that slid on there, and then the pump attached like that. Well, the new pump that I got did not have that kind of a connection. It just has a shaft with a key, and I checked it to make sure it would fit on the shaft, and it does, but it did not come with a key. The book said that there was a key included, but there was no key. I can always count on my nephew to come through for me, and he had a key that fit, and so he brought it over. You want to make sure that key fits in that slot just right, and then when you slide the pump on, make sure that it doesn't slide or the key doesn't move. This is the parts bag that comes with the new pump, and there's 4 bolts included, 4 new bolts to attach it to the motor, and there's the quick attach, which my old hose has that kind of a connection. This pressure washer is pretty old, and I was considering just buying a new one. And my son said, "Dad, the engine's a good engine, it's a Honda. Why don't you just buy a new pump?" So he looked it up online and he found this replacement pump for this particular pressure washer. But when the pump came, I noticed that it fits and everything, but it looks different. The placements of things are different. It's just a new design, but I'm quite confident that it's going to work okay. So I'll finish tightening the bolts on the pump here, and then the engine and pump will be ready to set up on the frame and bolt that down. So there we go. The pump is connected to the engine. Now, one thing I need to do is take off this fitting here and put on that quick attach fitting. So that's what I'll do next. One reason I decided to fix this old pressure washer is because I've got these nice heavy-duty hoses that fit with, and they have the quick attach feature on them. And the new pressure washers, I've noticed, don't have that kind of a hose. They're a plastic hose nowadays, and they're just not very substantial. Here I'm replacing this rubber ring, put it over on that new fitting, and then we'll screw it in there. This here is another hose that I have that I can connect up. It's a long one, and so yeah, I want to use these old hoses on this pressure washer. I can connect up both of those hoses and get up on a roof if I want to, and work on some siding up there and so on. So you can see that I'm pretty fond of those old hoses. So here's our new quick attach, and we'll get that connected. Whoops, the wrench is different than the other fitting. Had to get a little bigger wrench. We'll get it tightened up, and there we go. That's how that works. Dandy. I think I mentioned earlier that I cleaned up that old frame and painted it, and so I left that overnight to dry, and now I'll just grease up the shafts where the wheels go on. And there's a lot of things about this old pressure washer that are just better than the new ones. It has a really nice system for putting those wheels on, and there's an Allen wrench that tightens up this collar that holds the wheel on. So they're easy to take on and off when you want to grease them up. And now for the moment that I've been waiting for, and that's to set this engine and pump back on the frame and get it bolted down. There are 4 bolts that hold that engine down to that frame, so we'll get those in next. You know, you don't want to be afraid to fix up an old pressure washer like this. They're a pretty simple affair. As you can see, we've got that nice Honda engine, and you just find yourself a replacement pump and bolt it on there is basically what you're going to do. So there it is. Now this is the cover that went over the old pump. There's a difference in that old pump and this new one, and so I discovered that cover is not going to fit. It's not going to work on that new pump. And that's what held that hose there for your bucket if you want to use soap in your machine. So I'll have to figure out a different kind of a cover. I'll probably have to make one. So here we are. I attached the water hose to the machine, and you want to make sure you get all the air out of your hose before you start it up. And here we go. Looks like it's working just as good as it always did. Now you see that spring right there. That's how you can adjust your pressure, and it came set for 2,500 psi, and you can turn it up to 26, I think, is if you want to. But this machine will do what I needed to do, and so I thought I'd test it out on my steps that enter into the side door of the house here, and we'll get those cleaned off and get a nice fresh coat of oil sealer on there. And so I've got to look for my fittings that go on the end of that wand there. I know I have them. I forgot where I put them, and I'll hunt around and see if I can find them. There we go. I got that thing all pressure washed off, including the railing and some of the siding. It really looks nice. A pressure washer is a handy machine to have. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, everybody. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe to Tim Tools 99. And there's my new PowerWasher.